Hi guys, today we're gonna do a really quick video. We're gonna make textured pea protein. Here's the pea protein that I'm going to be using. I'll leave the link for this. We're gonna start off with 2 cups of water. And this mixes up really fast. 2 cups of water and 1 cup of pea protein. I got the flame on medium high. We're just gonna mix it until it gets thick. You can see it doesn't take long to get thick. Now I was looking for a recipe online on YouTube also to make pea protein grounds, but I couldn't find any. What I did come across is how to make textured vegetable protein. I got the recipe from Heart of Gold Cuisine on YouTube. She did hers with soybeans. She started off with her fresh soybeans and ground them up and everything. Just took the concept of her recipe for the textured vegetable protein and applied it here to the pea protein. So this is it. You just have to, it's just 2 cups of water and 1 cup of pea protein. And we're gonna lay this out on some wax paper, and instead of doing it in the oven, I'm just gonna pop it into my air fryer. So what it is, I'm just taking the rack from the air fryer and I'm placing parchment paper over that. If I was doing it in the oven, I would have laid parchment paper on a cookie sheet and did it that way, but I'm going to do this in the air fryer. And I already did this recipe and it turned out really nice. So I already cooked with the grounds. So we're going to put that here. Let's just get that on top of the wax. Let's just get that on top of the parchment paper and just spread it out. Try to spread it out evenly so that way it dehydrates evenly. Some parts will be dehydrated before other parts. So just, break off the parts that aren't dehydrated, remove the dehydrated parts, and just leave in the parts that aren't dehydrated in for, a longer time. Okay. And you'll notice I have more in here because that's it's a small rack. It's not like, I have it on the cookie sheet in the oven, so I'll just have to put this on another rack. Okay, so I'll put this in the air fryer. And let's set it to, because we have to dehydrate this, so put it on the lowest. Oh, this goes really low. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna set this for 190. I have to set the time. Okay, this timer only goes up to 60 minutes, so we're gonna have to keep adding 60 minutes to it. This takes about 3 hours to dehydrate, so we'll come back periodically and check it out. So here I have a pot of water. I'm going to add a little gravy master. I want to put a nice beefy color to my pea protein grounds. You can also use this because this will give it more flavor and color. But I choose to use this when I'm actually making them for a recipe. But you can use this as well. So this is what they look like. And I know they already look dark, but if you soak them just like this, they're going to come out like chicken. They're going to look like the color of ground chicken. brown chicken breast. So right now I know it looks brown, but if you just soak it like this without any coloring in the water, it's gonna come out pale, which is fine because I like to use that for like say chicken recipes. So I'm just gonna throw this in here and let it rehydrate. And guys, this recipe here is really basically just good for the grounds. I'm working on another recipe with the pea protein, so we can actually make like chunks, so that way we can make stews with it, or like strips of beef strips, make chicken strips with it. But right now, this recipe here with just the water and the pea protein, this is just really good for the grounds. You could also just let this soak in water. I like to boil it to rehydrate it. Now this is what I have already made. The other batch that we just made is still in the air fryer. Just gonna stir in there. And I'm gonna cover it. So let's just cover this up. Bring it to a boil, then turn it down and just let it simmer. And once it gets to a soft texture, we're gonna put it in our little food processor and grind it up into ground. So we're going to bring this down to a simmer. I would leave it in for a half hour to boil. Okay, so you guys can see how this is pretty flexible, right? It may still feel firm, but once you grind it up, it's going to be just like beefless grounds. Oops. So I'm just gonna put this into my little processor because I don't feel like dealing with the whole blender thing. The little processor, and I'll show you how to blend this up. Okay, guys. So we're gonna start adding these in. You could grind these up in your processor, in your blender, whatever works for you. So the noise you hear in the background, that's the air fryer. That's dehydrating the new batch that we made. You could use this right away, or you could put it in freezer bag and freeze it. It'll stay in your freezer for about 3 months, no problem. So I'm just gonna grind up the rest of them. And this you can use for anything. You can use it for chili, sloppy joe, whatever you guys want to use this for. I use this for my rellenos, whatever I need it for, basically. Meat sauce, meat-filled potato balls, relleno de papa. I also use it to stuff the sweet plantains with, the relleno de plátano. This is good for all sorts of things. And it's cheaper than having to buy Pea Protein Grounds because they're really expensive. So this is a cheaper way of doing it yourself. Okay, so here's what it looks like. That's all of it that was left from the batch that I had before. So this is what it looks like. I'm just gonna wait for it to cool off, and then I'm gonna put it in a freezer bag and just pop it in the freezer for next time I need some Pea Protein Grounds. And we'll get back to the ones that are in the air fryer. This is when they're done. Matter of fact, we'll check on them soon. Okay, so the 60 minutes is up. Notice the top, of course, is going to be more dehydrated than the bottom one. Plus, I put the bottom one in a little later than I did the top one. So let's take this over and see how this looks. Okay, you can see it's pretty dehydrated. for 60 minutes, it dehydrated pretty well. If you want to like speed up the process a little more, don't be afraid to like peel it off the paper. Look at this. You can see already it's breaking, you see? Some parts are a little thinner than the others. But peel the paper. And since it's not, and you know what, and since it's not wet anymore, it's dehydrated. Usually in the oven, I would just flip this over back onto the wax paper. But being that this is in the air fryer, and the air really does circulate really good around, I'm just gonna flip it over to this side that's still, you know, soft. As you can see, it's pliable. We'll just turn this over and pop it back into the air fryer for another 60 minutes and see, by then this should be done. Okay, so the 60 minutes is up from on the other side of the pea protein. And this is ready. The top one is ready. The bottom one, however, is still a little soft, but in the middle, because it was on the bottom, I'm going to flip that one over like I did the one on the top and just let that continue to dehydrate. But we're going to take this one out and show you how to store it. Okay, so here it is. It's our pea protein. They're ground now. They're dehydrated, and all you have to do is just put them. And I'm gonna recycle the one that I already had my other ones in. I'm gonna just put them in a sandwich bag or a freezer bag. And that's it. Close them up. Try to squeeze as much air out of the bag as you can, and just put them in a nice dry space. Like when you're ready to use it, just rehydrate it and use it for whatever recipe you'd like to use it on. So this was the top rack. The second rack is going to need a few more minutes. And here are the hydrated ones that we did earlier. And as you can see, I squeezed the air out of them. I squeezed the air out of the bag. And now they're ready. I could just pop them in the freezer. And they're good for 3 months in the freezer. Oh, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it was of some use to you. I hope you understood what I was saying, because I know sometimes I tend to babble. Anyway, thank you all. Thank you guys again for watching, and my new subscribers and my old subscribers. Thank you so much. So check out Heart of Gold Cuisine for a textured vegetable protein recipe, because basically I went to her YouTube channel, and that's how I figured out just how to do the pea protein. So check her out, and I'd like to thank you guys again for subscribing and watching, showing me some love, my little channel. I see that I have a lot of people watching but are not subscribed, so if you could please just hit that subscription button and hit that like. Please leave a comment, questions, whatever. I'm happy to answer them for you. And I love you guys, and I'm wishing you all a safe and happy upcoming weekend. Thank you again.